You know what the day after the draft means? It is UDFA Tracker season. So we're going to break down the players that Cleveland signed once the draft was over. Now, there are some recognizable names that you might have already heard of. So without further ado, let's jump into the Browns UDFAs as they had 9 open roster spots following their draft pick. So we're going to go one by one and sort of break down each player. I've got some notes because I'm not going to pretend to be an encyclopedia on Georgia Tech running back. So without further ado, Hassan Hall. He was originally at Louisville. He transferred to Georgia Tech. We've got his stats on screen for you guys here. 116 carries, 521 yards. He was behind one of the worst offensive lines in FBS last year, the Georgia Tech offensive line. He tested very well at his pro day. Great track athlete. That's sort of why he got a UDFA signing, because he's got the athleticism. He just doesn't have the production to back it up. But maybe behind a competent offensive line, that type of size and speed can do wonders. So I see why he merits a UDFA signing. A bit unknown as a true player because, like I said, 521 yards and 1 touchdown doesn't really scream that he's going to be a great running back. But who knows? Maybe if he is a player that can get behind a good O-line, like I said, he can have some more room to run. Moving on to the next UDFA signing, Ronnie Hickman. Probably the biggest name of the bunch here, the most notable. Here's the scouting report for Ronnie Hickman. Quality run defender. He made plays all over Ohio State's defense. One of now 4 Buckeyes to go from Columbus up to Cleveland. Now, the notes I've got on Ronnie. He's a hybrid of a linebacker / safety for OSU. He ended up being a strong safety in 2021. 2022, he turned into more of a free safety. 53 tackles, 7 pass breakups, 1 interception. He's 6'2", 209 pounds. So good size for a safety. No doubt about that. He was also a big-time lacrosse player, so I am sure Bill Belichick is having a temper tantrum that he did not get him. Tackling issues and iffy angles, as Tom Downey put it in his scouting report. The number 155 overall player. So for Cleveland to add him after the draft was a pretty decent big-ish UDFA signing. He's got a pretty good shot of making the Browns roster, right? The only 2 guarantees at the safety position are Juan Thornhill and Grant Delpit. After that, it's open season. So D'Anthony Bell was a UDFA last year, a safety who made the Browns roster. He will be competing with Ronnie Hickman and some other guys to make the other 2-3 spots available in the safety room. So Hickman probably has the best shot of anyone we'll look at today to make this roster, barring any sort of injuries. So with that being said, who is your favorite Browns UDFA signing? I think I'm going to go with Ronnie Hickman. He had a very good shot of getting drafted. Clearly, Cleveland prioritized him. They traded out of their 7th-round pick to Baltimore, and I'm sure the moment they did that, they picked up the phone, called Ronnie Hickman, and said, "We are going to sign you the moment this draft is over." Moving on to some more UDFA signings. Speaking of safeties from Columbus, Tanner McCalister, originally at the other OSU, Oklahoma State University. Then he transferred to OSU following his DC. Spent 4 years, as the scouting report indicates, in Stillwater before following his DC. Now, he is mostly a nickel cornerback, so Cleveland has a open job at that spot, right? They drafted Cam Mitchell out of Northwestern, who might have the inside track right now to be that nickel corner. But let's be honest, it's training camp for a reason, right? This is what preseason football is all about, finding the last couple of spots that need to be filled in. And for the Browns, it's the nickel spot because I don't think Greg Newsome is going to go back there. He's a bit undersized, not quite as athletic as testing indicated. Tom Downey had him as his number 28 safety. Other notes I've got on him, like I said, the 4th Buckeye to join the Browns, transferred from Oklahoma State to OSU, and he's got a team-high 3 picks this past season for Ohio State. So 2 Buckeye safeties go up to Cleveland. Next player we're going to look at here is Lonnie Phelps from Kansas, another Ohio player, oddly enough. He was originally from Cincinnati, went to Miami, Ohio, and then transferred from Oxford to Kansas and played down there at KU. Great burst and straight line speed. He just doesn't have maybe that bend around the edge, so needs to improve in the run game. Other notes I've got on him, he was their best defensive player last season, 11.5 tackles for loss and 7 sacks. That was the most amount of sacks by any KU player, by the way, since 2017. Been tough sledding in Lawrence. He was invited to the NFL Combine, so there is some sort of attraction by other NFL teams to at least warrant an NFL Combine invite. He ran a 4.55 40-yard dash. He also finished with the most bench pressing reps of any linebacker at the NFL draft. He's probably too small to be a defensive lineman in the NFL, but he could have a role as a special teamer and then as a blitz package specialty coming off the edge as an outside linebacker. So that's the scouting report on Lonnie Phelps. More UDFA tracker signings here. What's the exact pronunciation on this one? I rehearsed it 100 times, and I'm going to get it right on camera. You guys ready for this? Here it is. Mahmoud Diabete. Mahmoud Diabete. Nailed it. From Utah. So here's what I got on Mahmoud Diabete. Not a whole lot out there. Athleticism is not a problem for him. He's got great size and speed. He was Tom Downey's number 14 linebacker, 126 overall. So a guy that many thought could get drafted late day 3, ends up going undrafted. He was a 4-star recruit, went to Florida, and then transferred to Salt Lake City. 6'3", 225 pounds. That is special teams galore right there for Cleveland. I am sure they're going to try and find a role for him in that department. The issue is for Mahmoud, he never played much special teams in college. So if his athleticism and his frame can bring him onto the Browns roster, it'll be in a special team role. He just has to nail that down during training camp. Now, let's make sure we get to 19,000 subscribers sooner rather than later because I want to continue growing this channel. So I need 408 of you who have not subscribed to consider going ahead and doing so. We break down all sorts of Browns news and rumors all year long. More UDFAs to hit on here. This is Jeremiah Martin, edge out of Washington. Now, not a whole lot out there on Jeremiah Martin. This is actually Hassan Hall. So Jeremiah Martin's the next player we'll throw on screen for you guys. Out of Washington. Sorry for the misfoo on the picture right there. Nope, not him. Let's see if we can get it down there. There. Nope. Okay. So, no Jeremiah Martin picture. Sorry, guys. 4-star recruit coming out and went to Texas A&M. 9 sacks last season. That is the tight end who we'll look at later, by the way. That is not Jeremiah Martin on screen. Sorry, UDFAs can get a bit in the weeds, guys, so just bear with us here. Like I said, though, 4-star recruit came out, went to Texas A&M, transferred to Washington, had 9 sacks last season. Trivia, Washington was one of 7 FBS schools to not have, 7 Power 5 schools, to not have a player drafted. Can you name the other 6? So, tough year for the Huskies. Okay, moving on. Caleb Biggers from Boise State, a cornerback. There's Caleb. We got him right this time. 5th-year player who transferred from Bowling Green. 5'11", 195, 2-year starter for the Broncos. Not great speed or ball skills. He's more of a blanket type corner who maybe the Browns are just trying to spread themselves thin in terms of nickel corners and give everyone a shot and figure out if they can find one at that role for 2023. We got some more UDFAs to look at in just a moment, but first things first, we got some great deals going on with our friends at Fanatics, including this Browns t-shirt combo. So go to chatsports.com/CLE combo. Links in the comments and the description of today's video. You don't just get one shirt. You get 2 shirts, and they're on sale. Short sleeve and long sleeve tee. Get it today. Links down below. Moving on to our next UDFA, and this is linebacker Georgia Tech's Charlie Thomas. So, 2 Yellow Jackets coming up from Atlanta to Cleveland. Now, Tom Downey had him ranked as his 21st best linebacker, 289 overall. So, right there at that round 7/UDFA territory. Fast and athletic with good range, flexibility on defense. Insanely thin for a linebacker, doesn't have phenomenal size. He's 6'1", 207 pounds. Wouldn't be shocked if someone tries to move him to safety or nickel, right? At 207 pounds, you are just not going to do well against offensive linemen when they get to the second level. Now, the Browns did not draft a linebacker, which shocked me, to be honest with you guys. So with that being said, what position did the Browns miss out in the draft? I think it's linebacker. I have concerns for this linebacker crew, and I wonder if this is going to be the 2022 version of the defensive tackle room, right? Where last year the Browns sort of punted on the interior D-line and went skinny and it backfired. This year I'm worried about linebackers because Anthony Walker's coming off a torn quad. Taki's coming off a torn ACL. I can't confidently say they'll be ready to go week 1. JOK's coming off his second straight season with an IR stint. A lot of injuries to your starting linebacker room, and no additions have really been made in the depth department. Very concerned about that, if I'm being honest. Now, our final UDFA is tight end from Albany, Thomas Greene. What do we got on Thomas here? Now, we got a picture for Thomas we'll throw up on screen next for you guys. That's not quite the one text. 693 pounds. There it is. 693 pounds. 693 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He's also only the 19th player in Albany football history to sign an NFL contract. Now, he is actually 6'5", 255 pounds. He's a pure receiving tight end. I don't see a ton of blocking upside in this. This only has Thomas only has 1 year of real starting experience. So the Browns last year, if you remember, they added a bunch of tight ends and UDFAs afterwards. Zaire Mitchell-Payton and some other players that just had great size, and they're like, hey, can you be a red zone target for us? At 6'5", 255, there's a shot of that. Wouldn't be shocked if you see a UDFA tight end make the roster for Cleveland like Greene, just because it's a little bit thin after Njoku and Jordan Akins. You have Harrison Bryant. Wouldn't be shocked, though, if he does not make the 53-man roster. With that being said, if you guys are ready for football like today's video, the draft is over. UDFA season is coming to a close after its one-day stint. And then we've got some rookie minicamp. We've got OTAs. Then we got a dry spell. And then we've got training camp, baby. So if you are ready for football like this video, thank you so much for tuning in. UDFAs can get in the bit of the weeds. A very fluid situation, so things may change. But appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on a Sunday.